you highlight on certain key areas in Market Cipher and how you can literally trade with Market Cipher using time frames and how time frames also move in accordance with your oscillators. And it's one thing to know that trading requires time, as time frames are basically a way of determining the overall direction. When I say overall direction, I mean that price tends to move up, that is an up trend, and downtrend and consolidation. So we all know about that. So, but basically, time frames more or less like gives you, let's say, the ultimate direction. An ultimate direction means what's an ultimate direction means what are the, let's say, what are the other time frames saying? You understand? Are they all saying the same thing or are they saying different things? Let me repeat that again. Because in order to trade, you have to realize that you need time to determine overall or the ultimate direction. Direction means is either going up or down. Let's see this please. Is either going up from the side or is either coming down here. That's the whole point of trading. So you need time to literally determine the uptrend or the downtrend. And how do you use time to determine the direction? Basically, Market Cipher gives you more or less like a visual presentation of how time frames move in accordance with your oscillators. Now things are getting a little bit confusing here. No, don't get confused. Just hold on. All I'm trying to say is the time frames helps you determine the overall direction, right? Direction means either up or down. That's how price moves, up, down, or consolidate, up, down, and consolidate. And to determine the overall direction, you have to navigate amongst all the time frames. So navigating amongst all the time frames means you have to look at every time frame, not all of them, but from the highest to the lowest. Does it make sense? From the higher time frame to not the ultimate lowest, but at least, I mean, let's say if you are coming from the 4-hour time frame, let's go to from 4 hour to, let's say, 30 minutes. You understand? To determine the overall direction. Because the reason why we are not using just a single time frame is our oscillators move differently on each time frame. So let's go back to our time frame and see how our oscillators respond to the time frame. All right, so right now we are on the 4-hour time frame. And I want us to take a very critical look at something here. Let me put my vertical line, here. All right, cool. This is my vertical line. Bear with me, people. Bear with me. All right, cool. So, and let us look at something here. You could realize one thing. That our oscillators, we've already discussed our oscillators earlier on. This is our money flow, which is the liquid, and this is our momentum, our vehicle's engine. That's normally how I refer them to. So look at where the vertical line is and look at the direction of our oscillator. This is our momentum. It seems to be here right now. And our money flow seems to be here right now. So let's look at something. This is the positive territories, as we all know, and this is the negative territories. So how do I determine the overall direction? When I say how do I determine the overall direction, I need to know at least, I have to use multiple time frames to know the overall direction. So right now on my 4-hour time frame, I could realize that my money flow is in the negative. So it's in the negative, 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 and my momentum is also in the negative. So I have two most influential oscillators in the negative. All these oscillators affects price. All these oscillators affects price. If they are in the negative, it means price is heading towards downtrend. Okay, so let's see what happened to price here. You see price is falling. Price is falling. But how do I determine the overall? In order to determine the overall, let's go to the 3-hour time frame. Let's see something. Let me remove the drawings. On the 3-hour time frame, what do I see here again? I see my money flow I see my money flow still in the sorry, I see my money flow or my liquid in the negatives again, and my momentum is also in the negative. If I put my vertical line here, we are still in the negative, so it means price is either bearish. But how do I confirm the overall or the ultimate direction? I have to go to the next time frame, which is the 2 hour time frame. Now I'm going to the lower time frame. I'm now going to the lower time frame. Then you can realize that our money flow is moving. You see our vertical line is here, but our money flow has moved because we are on a 2 hour time frame. The lower the time frame, the more the movement. The higher the time frame, the lesser the movement. Right now, you can realize our money flow is moving, and our momentum is still in the negatives, but we are still in the negatives. We are still in the negatives. Don't forget. So right now, you can realize that on a 4 hour time frame, we are in the negative. On the 3 hour time frame, we are still in the negative, and on the 2 hour time frame, we are still in the negative. So how do we summarize this thing? We have 3 different time frames saying the same thing. In other words, we have 3 different time frames all saying that we are in the negative territories. We are in the negative territory. So price is bearish, so meaning we are bearish. Price is still falling. Like I said, price either moves up or down. So how do we determine? We use time frame. So let's go to the 1 hour time frame and see something. Let me move the drawings. On the 1 hour time frame, you could realize that we could realize one thing here. The momentum is still in negative, trying to make it into the positive, and money flow is in the positive right now. But it seems it's not really into the positive for a while. It might probably come down because you could see money flow just coming down like this. So it's like we still have another influential oscillator in a negative on a 1 hour time frame. So right now we have 4 hour, 3 hour, we have 2, and we have 1. And all of these all of these time frames says that we are in the negatives. And it's like on a 1 hour time frame, I think we are in a positive with the liquid, and we are in a negative with the money flow. So it's like we have like 4 time frames saying the same thing. It's like 4 hours says we are bearish, 3 hours says we are bearish, 2 hours says we are bearish. So it's like the overall direction seems to be very bearish. And on the 1 hour time frame, which is it shows that we are bullish, but it's not really bullish because our money is in the positive. That alone is not enough because we have so many time frames saying the same thing. So it's like the confluence of the time frame now shows us that we are bearish. We have 3 time frames saying negative, saying that price is in the negative or our oscillators is in the negative. So we have to adhere to those time frames much more than a 1 hour time frame. So it's like to find the ultimate direction, we need to navigate among time frames. That's what we have done here. So you can realize that we are still bearish regardless of what we saw in a 1 hour time frame. We are still bearish, and price seems to be falling. So how do you know we are bullish? Is when price starts to move here, when our oscillators move in the positives, moves in the positives on different time frames, then it means we are bullish. You understand? But right now it seems that we are bearish. Not that it seems we are, because again multiple oscillators are in the negatives. So take a critical look here. You can realize that money flow is in the negatives here, money flow and momentum is in the negatives here, and price fell from this side. But again, if I was going to trade based on just a single time frame, that wouldn't be enough. I need to navigate among all other time frames or multiple time frames to determine the overall direction of price. Then you can realize the Market Cipher gives you basically real-time insight into the direction of a price. Like Market Cipher makes it simple for you to understand the direction of an asset by navigating amongst time frames. And again, time frames is not like a script or something like an indicator of Market Cipher. Time frames is basically something that we use to literally determine the direction of an asset. But we don't teach time frames normally because time frames are basically something that we assume that most traders know. But it's like most newbies don't know, so we have to include that. So I did realize that I wasn't really talking about time frames. I did in most, I think, the early videos, but I had to mix it with Market Cipher, how Market Cipher respond to it. In my next video, I'm just going to deal with how oscillators move, and how our oscillators move is like our oscillators move in accordance with time, and but how do they move? That's what I'm going to describe. I'm going to lecture on the next video. So this is basically let's say how I will probably enter a trade using Market Cipher as my reference script. You understand? So basically this is just a simplified video. Like I told you, if you have a simplified script like Market Cipher, it always has to be a simplified trade. I don't really struggle trading with the script. And I don't need so many things to determine my trading entries. I just need to know the ultimate direction. I have to know where my oscillators are heading to by navigating amongst time frames, just to determine the overall direction. So this is what I would do when I have Market Cipher, how I would trade, and I just makes it just makes trading just simplified. I don't know how to describe Market Cipher to anybody. It's just a simplified script, and I want to wrap it up here and start with another video that highlights certain elements of I have also discovered along the line. So until then, people, have a nice time.